Hey YouTubers, Tasman here, and I'm bringing you what I was saying I might do, I decided to do. This is an addition to the Minecraft from the ground up tutorial. This is Minecraft from the ground up, Redstoning. So let's take a look at what we got here. I've been setting this up, putting in a couple hours, making sure I knew what I wanted to say and stuff, so hopefully I don't get too tongue-tied. But let's go ahead and begin. And I always do that. Alright. So this tutorial, first thing we're going to go over is the basics. And there are basically three types of redstone components. And they are listed here. There is your power components, there's your transmission components, and there is your mechanism components. So the power components are things that actually generate a redstone signal, such as a redstone torch. And for those that don't know how to make it, we can go over all the recipes really quick. It's just a stick with a little bit of redstone dust above it, and there you go, there's your redstone torch. A redstone block is also a power source, and you make that just by getting 9 redstone dust in your crafting table, and that gives you a redstone block. We have the daylight sensor, which can also give a redstone signal, and that is 3 glass, 3 nether quartz, and 3 wooden planks, and that will give you your daylight sensor. We have your detector rail for minecarts, and that's simply 6 iron ingots, a pressure plate, it does have to be the stone pressure plate, and a bit of redstone dust, and there you go, detector rail. We have our lever, or lever, however you want to say it. And that's simply made by putting a piece of cobblestone below a stick, and that gives you a lever. Then we have our pressure plates. We have two flavors. We have our wooden one and our stone one. And our stone one is made with 2 stones side by side in your crafting area. Gives you a stone pressure plate, and 2 wooden planks give you the wooden pressure plate. Then we have buttons. We have your wooden button. Oh, that was wrong. I forgot I wasn't going to be in creative for this. Oh well. Alright, we have our wooden button and we have our stone button. And that's simply just 1 wooden plank gives you 1 button, 1 stone plank, or stone block gives you a stone button. We have our trap chest. Now the way you can always tell if a chest is trapped or not is the trap chest has this little red ring around it. So if you didn't know that, that's how you can identify a trap chest easily. Alright, and a trap chest is simply making a chest, and I don't have a recipe on making a chest, so I just put it here, and that makes a plain chest. If you add a tripwire hook into your crafting area with the chest you make, you get a trap chest. And we have a tripwire hook, which is that requirement over there, or the thing over there. And that is simply a wooden plank, a stick, and an iron ingot, and that gives you a tripwire hook. Now this is just kind of an example of how it's used. In fact, let's just build that really quick. Do that, and we'll grab, we'll leave 1 in there. So the way the tripwire hooks work is you have 2 areas, and in this case we're just going to use this right here. You put 1 tripwire hook there, 1 tripwire hook there. As you can see, nothing happens. But if we put the string between the 2, now whenever we go out, it will trigger the tripwire. So just really quick on how to do that. And we don't need any of this stuff now. Yeah. Alright, so that's a tripwire hook. Then we have our weighted pressure plates. Now these, you notice walking on them doesn't do anything. The way these work is by items being placed on them. And we have an iron pressure plate and a gold pressure plate. The gold pressure plate, which is your lighter one, as you can see there, weighted pressure plate light, is 2 gold ingots, give you 1 pressure plate, and 2 iron ingots will give you a heavy pressure plate. So, and the way these work is actually with items. So if I threw, say, that's the heavy, so let's throw it on that one. You can hear that it went on. However, if I threw an item on this one, I don't think a single item will set it off, but let's check. Okay, it will. But this one actually acts better with stacks of items. This is with single items. And we'll go over those later on how they generate signals and stuff. Now, these next bunch we have here actually do not generate a redstone signal in the traditional way. These ones right here actually generate a redstone signal by their status. And the only way to tell its status is by using a comparator. So I just threw those on the back there to show you, I think, the end portal. Let's do this real quick. We'll just grab an end portal eye and throw it in there to give you an example. Or an ender eye. Alright, so if we put in an ender eye, this either inputs that it's a on or off type signal. Other things might tell you more of a quantity type thing. So if we put that in, boom, see it's on. Alright, so there's a quick example of that. Let's get rid of this. Okay, so let's continue. So like I said, these next items all work off of the comparator. Is the only thing that can pull a signal from them, and that is basically to tell you, like, I believe the brewing stand will tell you how many bottles are in there or something like that, and like your furnace will tell you whether it's actually cooking or it's changed state. So here we have the brewing stand, which is simply 3 cobblestone and 1 blaze rod, gives you a brewing stand. We have the jukebox, which is 8 wood with 1 diamond in the middle. Now the reason I put the records, these are all the records in the game, and each one of these output a different signal to the comparator, and it's actually in order here. So music disc 13 actually outputs a level 1 signal, level 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So weight actually outputs a level 12 signal. So you can actually use it to detect what was put in. Alright, and then like I said, we all know furnaces. It's simply 8 cobblestone in a donut shape, well, a square donut, and that gives you a furnace. And then we have end portal. There is no crafting recipe for an end portal, or the end portal frame. We have a cauldron, which is basically upside down pants made out of iron, because pants are actually that recipe. So anyway, it's like a giant U, and that gives us a cauldron. We have our dispenser. Now I don't have the recipe here because these actually can they actually fall in another category too, and I'll show you the recipe and stuff for the dispenser and the dropper in a minute. And then the chest also can work with a comparator. So it's just 8 blocks in a square donut shape, and there's your chest. And finally we have our hopper, and that I also have a recipe elsewhere, I believe. Let me just check real quick. Yeah, I do, right over there. Alright, so these are all items that generate some kind of redstone signal. And like I said, the ones from the brewing stand up actually have special rules on their, they only can work with a comparator to generate a signal. So that is our powered components. Next we have our transmission components. So your transmission components are simply the way of getting your redstone current, or your electricity, redstone, I call it current, from one place to another. And the most common is redstone dust. And that is, you get redstone dust by mining redstone ore. If you don't use a diamond or a iron pickaxe on it, it will not yield anything. You can get up to 4 redstone. Of course, there are enchants like the it's not the looting, it's the fortune. The fortune enchants will actually get you more. And then also, if you have redstone blocks, you can put that in your crafting area and basically kind of decraft it and get 9 redstone dust. We might need these guys since I'm up here. Okay, so there's our redstone dust. Next we have our repeater. Now our repeater not only acts like redstone dust, but it actually re-strengthens the signal, because redstone, as we'll go over in a minute, only goes a certain length and then it dies. It doesn't have any more strength, so we need to use a repeater to strengthen that signal. So this is a repeater, and it also acts as a delay. So if we right click on it, we can see this second torch moves back, and that's the delay, and we'll go over that too. So to make a repeater, you need 2 redstone torches, you need a redstone dust, and you need 3 stone, and you get a redstone repeater. Now the comparator is new. It actually compares the signal coming in from the back to one of the sides, and depending on the results, it will actually send out a signal and sometimes even a signal strength. So also the comparator has this little torch right here. If you right click on it, see how it popped up and lit up? That inverts it. So like this is in increment mode, that would be a decrement mode, I believe. So that's the comparator, and here's how you make it. You use 3 redstone torches, a bit of nether quartz, and 3 stone. So almost like the redstone repeater, except this would be dust and that's not there, but that gives us a comparator. Now finally, our worst things for transmitting redstone signal are actually blocks. And you have your opaque blocks, which are not considered translucent, which a signal can be pushed into it, but a block can't push a signal into another block. So if I pushed a signal into this block, it would not automatically push it into any adjacent blocks. You have to get it out another way, which we'll go over. And then we have transparent blocks, which act a little different. Now one nice thing about, let's just grab that real quick and show you an example. With, if we say right here, we have a redstone going up and down this block here. If I put a block here, let's say I wanted the signal to go down and up at the same time. If I were to put a block right there, you can see it actually cut off the signal going down. And so now we can't actually have this line powered. However, transparent blocks, and let's just grab one. These are the 3 types. You have your half slabs, which act as a transparent block. You have your glowstone. Glass acts like a transparent block, but you can't place redstone dust on it, so I'm not showing you that. But for example, if we set our half slab, obviously there's plenty of space for that to go through. If we did it with our stairs, as you can see, the signal is still going through there, and we can still place our signal so it's going up. So even though you don't see it go down the side, if we put a torch right here, you can see we got power there and we got power on top. And finally, we have our translucent block or transparent block, which is glowstone, which also that actually will cut it. However, it's still considered transparent block, but you can actually still get the signal through. See, you can't see it go down, but actually no, that worked right. Never mind. So as you can see, it looks like it still cut it, but it was still there. So, and now I believe, let me just double check something. Yeah, we can even place the half slab on the lower piece. However, you cannot place your glowstone on the upper piece, or on the lower half slab. It has to be on the upper one. And this cut it because now this is considered a full block. In order for it not to, we have to do that. But as you can see, we can still place our glowstone up there. So there we go. There's a real quick piece on the transmission components. Okay, finally we have this long line right here of the mechanism components. So these are things that take a redstone signal and do something. Alright, so here we have a sticky piston and a regular piston, and the way you make the regular piston is you have 3 planks, 4 cobblestone, an iron ingot, and a redstone. That gives you your piston. To make it sticky, you simply, in your crafting area, put the piston you've made with a slime ball. That gives us a sticky piston. So there you go. We also have the command block. Now, command block does not have a recipe, but if you use the give command, if you have cheats enabled and you type give or /give and space and then your username, or in this example, actually let's just do it. Hold on, we gotta do this real quick. I'll just show you, but we're gonna put that down there so you can see it. So if we do /, and that's the / that shares with the question mark, it's the /, and we do give, and we do Tasman, and we do the number, which is right here, 137, and 1, because we only want 1. You'll see here, now we have 2 command blocks. So that is the only way you can get a command block. And a command block can receive a redstone signal, and when it receives the signal, for example, here is my daylight resetter, and when it gets a signal here, it simply sets the time to 0. So it just simply executes a command. Alright, pistons, when they get power, they push, they shoot out, and the sticky piston will pull back in whatever's pushed. This will just push it out. Maybe we could show you that real quick. So we put both those there, throw up a couple blocks here, and throw a torch right here. Oh wait, did I do that wrong? I think I did that wrong. Although I'm not sure why. Oh, actually I know why. I'm a dummy. Pistons cannot push obsidian. Alright, so now if we do this again, and we put a torch here, this should push out both pistons. And there you go. Now when I take away this torch, the block on the sticky piston will go back, but the block that wasn't sticky got left where it was. Alright, next we have our dispenser and our dropper, which we had over there in our power givers, and they had the special rule of the comparator. So here we have the dispenser, and the dispenser, if there's a button on it, which of course I don't have because I put all this other stuff in my inventory, if we put a button on it, and we'll throw a button on here, and let's just take some of this redstone. Let's see that. So a dispenser and a dropper seem like they're the same thing. They kind of act the same, especially in this case where it just shoots out the redstone and that shoots out the redstone. Oh, actually that's triggering both of them. Interesting. And that shoots out the redstone. The difference is actually, if we had a better thing, let's grab right here some arrows. The difference between them is that if it's an item that can be shot or something, or special attributes to it, it will actually do whatever it is. So with arrows, for example, you see it shoots. Where if we do that, this just tosses an arrow out. So see, we shot one and we just tossed one. So like if I had a bucket of water in here, I'm not going to do that, I'll destroy a lot of things, but if there was a bucket of water in here, the water would come pouring out, whereas if this had a bucket of water in it, the water bucket would just be dumped out. So anyway, a dispenser is made by having a bow. First you need a bow, and this is how to make a bow, just in case you didn't know. But the actual dispenser, you put the bow in the middle, you put 7 cobblestone blocks, and 1 redstone block at the bottom, and that gives you a dispenser. And the dropper is identical except for it doesn't need a bow. And there you go. That's why a dispenser shoots things, is because it has a bow inside of it. Next we have the hopper. And the hopper actually gets a redstone signal. When it gets a redstone signal, it locks, so it won't pass things through. And a hopper, if we put something like this on top of it, you can see they disappear. They actually go inside the hopper and await to go somewhere. Now if I had a chest under here, it would actually, the hopper would actually be inputting it into a chest. However, if I had a redstone torch here, it would lock that hopper and it would not put anything into the chest. So a hopper is made by 5 iron ingots, kind of in a V shape, with a chest in the middle, and that will give you a hopper. Alright, next we have doors. So we have our wooden door, which you can open, and you have your iron door, which you cannot open without a redstone. But both of these do work with redstone signals. Oops, I need to put it right, like so. There we go. So we can use redstone to switch states of doors, toggle them open or closed. And doors are really easy to make. 6 wooden planks, wooden door, 6 iron ingots, iron door. Next we have the gate. Oh, it's starting to storm. Hold on. Alright, next we have a gate, and as you saw, redstone will change the state of the gate, open and close, and also the trapdoor. We'll kind of go over both those. Alright, so the fence gate is simply made by 4 sticks and 2 wooden planks, and that gives you a fence gate. And the trapdoor actually is 6 wooden planks, and that actually gives you 2 trapdoors. Next we have our redstone lamp, and this simply lights up when given a redstone signal. Yeah, pretty sweet. And I use that a lot in my contraptions and stuff, just to help emphasize the state of the redstone signal and stuff. Alright, so we have our redstone lamp, and that's simply made by glowstone. When you go in the nether and you break glowstone, you get glowstone dust. If you put 4 glowstone dust in your crafting area, you get back a glowstone block, and you need the glowstone block. If you put a glowstone block in the middle of your crafting area, surrounded by 4 redstone dust in a diamond shape, you will get a redstone lamp. And those are very handy. Next we have a note block. As you can see, it thumps. And depending on what it's on, like if it's on glass, if it's sitting on glass, or if it's sitting on dirt, sand, or I think everything else is the default. But it thumps. In other words, you might get like more of a piano sound or something like that. So anyway, here's our note block. And you make it. Oh, I don't have how you make it. Hold on. Did I get all these others? Oh, I didn't get any of these others. Alright, give me just 1 second, guys. I got distracted when I was doing all this, so I didn't get those. Give me 1 second. I will be right back, and we'll have all our little recipes for these remaining pieces. Alright, so 1 second. I'll see you in a minute. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. I skipped those last few chests, but I've got it all fixed now, so pretend it never happened. So anyway, our note block is simply made by like making our square donut, kind of like a chest, and putting a little redstone in the middle, and that makes our note block. Finally, we have, or not finally, the last 4. Next we have rail. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, hey, wait a minute, Tasman. Rail doesn't take a redstone signal and do something, but you don't know. Let me show you. But anyway, so rail right here is made simply by 6 iron ingots and a stick, and that gives you a rail. Now let's really quick go over what it is with a rel that's redstone. So we have here a rel that's turning, right? Well, if we add a redstone signal via this switch, you'll see that it actually changes the angle. Now if we were to do a switch on just a regular piece of rel, it ain't gonna do nothing. So if we put a switch right here, nothing. But if there's an area where a rel can turn, you can actually use this for junctions and going that way or go that way. So there you go. Just in case you didn't know, you can use redstone with regular rel. Next we have powered rel. Now this is also known as a booster rel, but what this does is if it has redstone power, a minecart hits it, it speeds it up, makes it go faster. And you make this simply almost like a rel. Instead of iron ingots, you use gold ingots with a stick in the middle, and in addition you also have a bit of redstone dust right there at the bottom, and that gives you a powered rel. It actually gives you 16. Both of these give you 16 rels, I believe. So you get a pretty good amount. Next we have an activator rel, and this really, as far as I know, only has one purpose, and it's related to that. If a minecart with TNT in it goes over an activator rel, it starts the TNT in its detonation sequence. So an activator rel is simply made with the iron ingots, 2 sticks, and a redstone torch in the middle, and that gives you an activator rel. And finally we have TNT, and we all know, I better get this out of my hand, I might activate the TNT on accident. And we all know what TNT is, right? Well, TNT is made with 5 gunpowder in kind of an X shape, and then in a diamond shape you do sand, and that will give you a TNT. Alright, so those are our 3 types of components that use redstone in some way. We have our powered components, we have our transmission components, and we have our mechanism components. So now let's talk just a little bit about redstone signal strength. So a redstone torch, at its best, it can only transmit redstone signal. You can see it getting lighter and lighter until right here it's off. It can only go 15 blocks, and then it needs to be augmented with a repeater or something else to actually make the signal stronger. So so there you go. That's how far redstone can travel. And you can actually, in this very last block, as long as the 15th block, you can actually throw your repeater right there, and you've got a brand new signal going. But we're going to talk about that in a second. So 15 blocks is the maximum distance redstone can travel. Now we have repeater types here. We have the old school repeater, because Minecraft didn't start out with these fancy repeaters we all know and love today. It actually started out where you had to have your own repeater. And you have a signal go into it. This signal will power this block, and this block getting power turns off that torch, which turns off this line, which makes it so this block is not powered, which turns on this torch or lets this torch be on, and your signal goes on. So it's kind of a little confusing, and when we get into gates and stuff, we'll point out what this kind of is. This is kind of a not gate, if that makes any sense. But we'll go over that. But we all know of the new repeaters, and that's a simple item repeater. That's what I call it. This is the old school repeater. This is a repeater item because it's a simple little item you throw down on the ground, and it takes a signal as it gets to its weakest point, and it restrengthens it. So here we have signal strength 101, I guess. So with the old school repeater, as you can see, we have our redstone torch. It goes the same distance as that one. And here we are on block 15, and there's the block 16. We have this, it's powering this block, which turns off this torch, which turns off this line of redstone, which depowers this block, which lets this torch turn on. Now you might ask why we would do that. Well, let me show you. If we just had a torch like this doing it so it was always on, so if we took this off, and let's say we had this on a switch and we wanted to turn it off. Well, as you can see, this torch is on, but this light is still off. Our power is off, so our main line is off, but this line is still on. So in order for it to be a true repeater and actually re-amplify the signal, we have to have this, where we have to have that little bit of dust to power this block. So now if we break this dust, you'll see now that this line is powered, this block is also powered, this torch is off, and there we have the same state on both of our lines, how we want it. See? So there you go. And of course it goes to block 15 both directions. Now this is just showing you, and I actually used 2 repeaters, and I'll explain why. It's more because of the spacing. I could have done it with just 1 repeater. If we would have went straight in one long line, it would have been fine. But to have it come back so you could see that this is the dead point, I did it this way. So here we have our signal. We have it hit our repeater right here, which gives us a full signal again. So this one's has a strength of 15, 14, 13. Hits this repeater, which we're just pretending this doesn't exist. This is just all the same thing to make it the same. And we have it come down here, and we have all the way till our strength is 1 and 0. Alright, well, it looks like we're at our time limit, which is, we actually got a little further than I expected. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope, more importantly, you learned a little something. And we're going to be learning a whole lot more in this series. And it'll be short because Redstone doesn't go on and on forever. So there will probably be 5 or 6 videos of this. And then we'll be kind of at the end of it. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. As I said, hope you enjoyed this. If so, leave a like down below. Show me the love, baby. Comment, subscribe, you know the drill. Anyway, until next time, guys, I'll be seeing you later. Bye.